Pedestrian deaths are the highest they have been since 1990. Nearly 50,000 people have died on U.S. roads since 2009, according to federal statistics. The reasons vary. Some blame cell phones and distracted driving. Others say sprawling cities and wide roads are the bigger culprits. A team of student reporters from the Howard Center for Investigative Journalism at Arizona State University has been investigating what victims, families, and advocates say are slow changes to a deadly problem. Here is Arren Kimbel-Sannit with that report.
Above a busy intersection in Los Angeles, a sign cautions motorists to drive with care. It's yards away from where 17-year-old Christian Vega was struck and killed in February. Vega was killed here on Riverside Drive. Residents have complained that navigation apps have introduced new motorists to this stretch of road that can't safely handle the added traffic.
Riverside Drive, it's become a fifth lane of the 5 freeway.
David De La Torre and other concerned residents have called for safety improvements along the street for years. City engineers approved a left turn signal for the intersection in 2017. But it wasn't installed until after Christian's death because the city says funding was unavailable. Across the country, pedestrian deaths are on the rise, jumping from more than 4,000 in 2009 to nearly 6,000 in 2017.
Streets are wider. Streets are so wide that streets are basically freeways sometimes, or they have freeway-like speeds.
Daisy Villafuerte with the advocacy group Los Angeles Walks says the city wasn't designed for walking, which leaves pedestrians vulnerable.
If you try to walk a street, you'll spend a good 10 minutes without ever seeing a crosswalk.
Unlike older, denser East Coast cities that were built before automobiles ruled the roads, Sunbelt cities like Phoenix and LA were built with cars as the dominant mode of transportation.
We're seeing an epidemic of pedestrian crashes happening on arterials.
Engineer Randy Dittburner says that pedestrians and vehicles use the same major roadways, which creates conflict.
But that's where the pedestrians want to be, just like that's where everybody wants to be. That's the way to get through our cities and towns.
A good example? Southern Avenue in Phoenix. It's where 15-year-old Keyshawn Eubanks was killed by a car in December. Eubanks was crossing the street when his family says a driver sped out of her lane and hit him. His mother, Nida Richards, found him on the curb.
Once I, took his hood off his head, I just knew he was gone.
The Eubanks apartment complex is half a mile away from the signaled crosswalks on Central and 7th Avenues. That's a long way to walk for people who need to catch a bus to school or work.
That makes no sense. Kids are going to be kids. I can't sit up and tell you I walked to Central just to go to the dollar store.
National advocacy groups say deaths like Keyshawn's are more common in low-income areas. It's evident in Southern California, where residents in underserved neighborhoods are waiting for safer streets.
Early infrastructure that a lot of other parts of the city take for granted just never got to this part of the area.
District 6 council member Nuri Martinez knows this intersection lacks some crucial road safety elements, things like sidewalk accessibility ramps.
For a mom who's trying to get to work every morning and drop off her kid with a stroller, how is that mom supposed to be able to cut across the street and use that sidewalk or that side of the sidewalk when there is not an accessible way for her to do so?
These ramps are now being built as a part of Vision Zero. It's an initiative that many cities across the country and world have adopted. The goal for Los Angeles is to have 0 traffic fatalities or serious injuries by the year 2025.
But that's the infrastructure needs that I think that we've been waiting for a really long time. We're finally starting to get to make sure that these communities of color in particular, that those needs are starting to get addressed.
Families who have lost loved ones are often the people pushing for change.
I think we need to get more people like me, a family who's been affected or a survivor, to actually go to one of their meetings and talk to the residents themselves.
Debbie Shung and Philip Tam started the organization Southern California Families for Safe Streets. They did so after their oldest son, 7-year-old Aiden Tam, was killed while crossing the street.
And all of a sudden, I saw a driver make a right turn into the crosswalk. Aiden got hit. We ran over. The truck was on top of Aiden.
The couple wants safer roads and safer drivers. They know changing laws and minds is a challenge, but it's not impossible. The European Union has seen a 36% decline in pedestrian deaths between 2007 and 2016. Experts say it's because, unlike the US, the EU has found ways to redesign vehicles and roads to reduce pedestrian deaths.
It should not necessitate a death. It should not necessitate a lawsuit for action to occur.
At the end of the day, community leaders and advocates like De La Torre say they want government agencies to take a more proactive approach to roadway design and pedestrian safety. And while they keep working to make streets safer for pedestrians, the families of Keyshawn, Aiden, and Christian keep working through their grief. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Arren Kimbel-Sannit with the Cronkite School of Journalism in Phoenix.
And again, that story came to us from the Howard Center for Investigative Journalism at Arizona State. It's an initiative of the Scripps Howard Foundation.